All right, everybody, circle up.
From Wish TV.
Here we go.
Indy Style is Indy's only live local lifestyle program.
Everything they do is great. You're part of it. Talk about things that I want to know about.
Where life and style meet.
Oh, this is great.
Really great energy.
Really having a wonderful time.
The best. I love it.
Everything about him's great.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the big announcement you've all been waiting for.
This is the Indy Style Podcast.
All right, let's get right to it.
On the All Indiana Podcast Network.
From Wish TV's Indy Style, I'm Amber Hankins, and on this episode, I chat with comedian Scott Long about his love for comedy, his relationship with his daughter, who is on the autism spectrum, and some of the best advice he has for dads.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. It's the Sleep Number biggest sale of the year. All beds on sale up to 50% off the limited edition smart bed. Plus free premium delivery with any smart bed and adjustable base. Ends Labor Day. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
Audible's romance collection has something to satisfy every side of you. When it comes to what kind of romance you're into, you don't have to choose just one. Fancy a dalliance with a duke, or maybe a steamy billionaire. You could find a book boyfriend in the city and another one tearing it up on the hockey field. And if nothing on this earth satisfies, you can always find love in another realm. Discover modern rom-coms from authors like Lily Chu and Ali Hazelwood, the latest romantasy series from Sarah J. Maas and Rebecca Yarros, plus Regency favorites like Bridgerton and Outlander. And of course, all the really steamy stuff. Your first great love story is free when you sign up for a free 30-day trial at audible.com/Wondery. That's audible.com/Wondery.
All right, welcome to the Indy Style Podcast. He is fresh off his second time co-hosting Indy Style with yours truly, comedian Scott Long.
Oh, my God.
Is in the house.
Are we just starting now? Where's the cough button?
Clear your throat.
So, yes, I was trying to explain to Amber, because I've done morning shows all over the country, big ones, smaller ones, you name it, TV, but I'm the guest. And they put the thing on me. They strap the mic on me and all that. And then I don't have to put any producer thing in my ear.
Nope.
These are the behind the scenes. But I think these are interesting things that people are like. So I sit down. The host does ask me a question. And then I rant for 2 minutes. And then I do that one more time and I'm done.
Yeah.
And then with Amber's job, she's got like 10 jobs going on. All these things you have to read and all these things. And it's like a puzzle.
It is.
It's like a puzzle, and I got to see the behind the scenes of it, and she did all the heavy lifting and made me look as good. No, it really, honestly, it would have been just a massive train wreck instead of a couple little ones, which I like the little ones. I don't know. I don't like things to be too perfect.
Yeah.
Maybe because nothing in life has ever been perfect for me. People ask me like, well, why are you a stand-up comedian? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, is that your real job? Or I'm like, yeah, 30 years. Okay. No, I don't also Uber.
Yeah.
But a lot of comedians have had to. But
yeah.
How I explain it though, then the next thing they're like, "Oh, you probably had a bad childhood, right?" And I'm like, I'm offended for you to say that because I know comedians that had a good childhood. But you're right, I had a bad childhood. Okay, I did. I mean, it was my dad. He was a train wreck, manic depressive, and not the stuff we always get in on Indy Style. But that's what put me there. So I do resent comedians that had a normal childhood, the few of them. I feel like you go find another job. This is for the circus freaks over here.
But do you find that allows you to bring in different material that perhaps other people they don't have, I don't want to say access to, but they've never lived it. When you don't live it, you don't experience, you don't know it.
Well, like the show Seinfeld, brilliant show. I love the show. Jerry Seinfeld's comedy, not a big fan of it because Jerry Seinfeld's comedy is, you ever notice this? You ever notice that? Whereas my comedy is, this happened to me. Let's see if you can connect with it. It's almost all stories of real life. And so when comedy kind of switched there, that became very good for me. Mm-hmm. The first time I ever came into Indy Style, I was doing a show called Modern Family Real Life. And right before I was going to do this one-man show at a theater in Indianapolis, I got a cease and desist letter from Modern Family. Like, wow, it's just a little show. I'm doing there's going to be 80 people there. I mean, come on, but,
Right.
But I was working for Fox at the time, writing sketches also, and Fox was the producer of Modern Family. So I'm like, oh, crap, I got to change this. But then it became, it's an autism thing. Let me help you understand. And it's about my daughter.
Well, yeah, let's talk about that, because I think it's important to see the other side of people, right? People, they see us, whether it's on stage or on TV, as this one almost character that they think that we are, but there's so many layers to peel back because we are all people.
Right. Well, and it really just changed my whole idea of what my stand-up was. Everything became the truth, and there's shades to it. I try to add some stuff to make it funnier, but they're all based in true stories. And my daughter, we were first-time parents, older parents, and we had no idea what milestones were supposed to be and what weren't.
Yeah.
And then at the age of 2, after us having test after test, and no one wants to tell you because they're like the therapists who are great, they're pretty much scared to tell you because most parents at 18 months are going to be like, hey, that's not going to happen with my child. They're just learning a little slower. They usually know, okay? They're telltale signs. But at 2, Maddie was not walking, talking, or even crawling, okay? She was happy. She was a beautiful girl. But we could see that, we were then told after these tests by a specialist, well, she'll probably live with you the rest of her life. She's probably not going to marry or hold a full-time job. I know some of you are like, this doesn't sound very comedy-like. But that's another thing that I hate about comedy. Like, I think the best shows are the ones that mix, like thoughtful things and funny things, because that's what life is. Life is not just like a sitcom from the 70s or the 80s where everything's wonk, 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 wonk every 10 seconds. I like shows that you get a little reality too. And so that's when my show changed. And for the last 8 years, my daughter and I have made a video every Monday called Happy Mondays with Maddie.
Oh, I need to see these.
Yeah, and look, I'm not going to brag myself up, but I will say these videos have made a huge difference. Over, I don't think 500,000 people have seen these videos over the past time. And what they do is Maddie loves Mondays because she loves structure, and she gets to go to school. Yeah. And she loves the bus. It's like when we were growing up, people would kind of like, oh, the short bus, and they'd make fun of that. And I always say, you can make fun of that bus. The biggest party bus ever is the kids with special needs on their bus, because they are excited and happy to be on the bus. Yeah. You ask any bus driver, and they're like, oh, my favorite bus is the kids with the special needs, because they're excited to be on the bus.
Well, every other kid is like, oh, it's Monday.
So, and then the other thing I always try to state too is that, there's so much news that pumps out that, America is a terrible place and this is bad in America. What I would say, and I'm proud to say, this country does for kids with developmental disabilities and now adults better and better than any other place in the world. Really. And that's something I think we should feel very proud of. We are behind on some things. I realize that. But a lot of times we're so resentful. 20 years ago, I don't know what it was like at your school. You went to a smaller school.
I did, yeah.
So I don't even know if was there a special education room even?
There was, but it was very small. I mean, my town was only 1,300 people.
Yeah.
So I graduated, I think there were 200 maybe in our whole school. So I graduated with 56.
Yeah, see, I had 12,000. So I was in a burgeoning metropolis in comparison to
totally different.
A young Amber.
A young Amber.
Yeah, let's think about that for a second.
What does that look like?
Oh, I'm sure it's lovely. So how I would explain it, though, is especially with the bigger schools where there were kids with disabilities, a number of them, they were just put in the back of the school, and no one, it's like, don't go back there. Don't do anything with those kids. They don't want to bother with you. We don't want to bother. And now there's so much integration with kids with disabilities. There's all these different programs, Best Buddies and things. And I've done a lot of fundraisers for a lot of these groups. And it's so fascinating to me that in a life, it's been so helpful for me because, I came from a really pretty challenging childhood, kind of a lot of darkness. And I was always, I hit you first, then before you can hit me.
Oh, yeah.
That's where it came from. And I have that skill and it helps me in stand-up if I get hecklers or something. But Maddie taught me patience, empathy. I didn't know what empathy was. I had none of that. And so I was explaining, if you were to put everybody on the left side of me that I've ever learned anything from, and then you put Maddie on the right, I've learned more from her than everybody else combined. And I know some of you are like, well, that seems a little dramatic. And I'm like, no, I'm not being that way. That's truthful. I've learned nothing from my twins, for example. But don't have twins. And Amber, you were saying you thought you wanted to have twins.
I said, yeah. So back in the day, before having babies, I always thought, twins would just be so cool. And you tell me, no.
Get it out of the way, right? It's like, they'll have somebody to play with. And I'll have these two little beautiful
cute little outfits.
Right.
Matching.
Right. No. I've almost met, if they're identical, I think a lot of parents feel real good about that. Yeah. And I think identical twins, look at the world similarly, and so they often do really well together. They feel a real bond.
Yeah.
I have a son, Sam, and a girl, Mallory. They're 13. They have not liked each other maybe since the womb, and they're nothing alike. I always explain it's kind of like living with, like if Rachel Maddow and Tucker Carlson lived in the same house. That's kind of what I live with. They're just kind of always battling. They don't look at the world similarly. And then people are like, well, someday they're going to be best of friends. I'm like, well, when do you think that'll be? Because I need to know.
When is that someday?
I'll put that in my schedule.
Yeah, if you guys missed that on Indy Style, it's all things British, right?
Oh, she's lovely, though. I loved her.
I know. She's fantastic.
Tina.
It was Tina Jessen.
Oh, my gosh.
Tina's traditional. Yes. Okay, so we've been talking 11 minutes. Shall we go a little longer?
Yeah, you are the busiest person in show business.
I know. I've got stuff to do after this, but I don't want to let you go quite yet.
Okay.
Let me ask you this. Who do you think is funny? Who are some of your favorite comedians?
Well, it's been a really tough year to even be a comedian because you couldn't get in front of a live audience, and if you did, they had to be 6 feet spread out. And comedy is very communal. Yeah. So then I was doing a lot of Zoom things and things like that, and I kind of learned how to do it because I kind of treat it more like a talk show meets I'm telling stories about my life. There's inspirational stuff. It fits better in a box versus just, hey, I'm standing in front of a brick wall and I'm holding a microphone. Yeah. That does not work on Zoom or Microsoft Teams or whatever you're using. The comedians, the other thing that's been really tough is a good part of me telling only stories about myself and my family and the world that I'm living in. People have a hard time trying to tell me that whatever I think is funny is wrong. But for most comedians who don't do that, it's a tightrope now. Am I going to get canceled off of one joke? And there have been comedians.
Am I going to take it too far?
Right. Or, how, and it used to be comedy was taking it too far. Yeah. That was like a free space, and it's not the case anymore, especially if you're famous. So I like comedians that are kind of more in your face a little bit. I like the edge of that. It's kind of like rock music versus soft rock. So I like Bill Burr. I think he's brilliant. And there's, I've always thought Chris Rock was amazing. And those are the kind of people that really connect with me. Yeah. But then, people have compared me to Jim Gaffigan, who's the most successful clean comedian in the world. And he grew up in the region, Northwest Indiana. And people are like, well, Jim Gaffigan, he talks about kids and his wife, and he talks about food a lot. Why are you not as successful as Jim Gaffigan? And I never had a really good reason. and he's like from Indiana. And I'm like, and then I saw him. He was on a news program doing a feature with his wife, and he and his wife, I guess, write like their material together. Like she writes half of his material. And in that moment, I realized it's my wife's fault that I am not more successful.
Blame it on her.
No, so it's just one of those things. But you cannot become famous as a comedian if you decide to stay in flyover country.
Right.
But I spent enough time in Los Angeles to know that that's not where I want to raise my family. And I love this city.
You know, I was out there for a year too. I totally get it. We'll have that conversation another
part
day.
6.
Part 6. I don't think you and I would have a problem ad-libbing on a show or filling time,
the only
right?
problem is the time.
Or getting Scott to wrap it up, right?
Yeah, that's been the big challenge.
Right. Which, speaking of, we're going to wrap this up, but is there anything else that you would like to leave our listeners? And I have to say listeners because I'm used to saying viewers.
We were talking about that.
But listeners.
And on TV, I was saying listeners.
Yeah.
But they're viewers.
It's so different.
But maybe they're listeners. Maybe they're
both. I don't know.
I would just say I've got this new show that's going to be coming out.
Plug it,
Yeah, I probably should plug that. It's coming out in August, though. I'll be on before that again. And I think we'll probably end up doing a podcast around that, too. I'm sure that's part of the deal.
Yeah.
All Bets, Indiana. A lot of times, it's going to be on Saturdays. It's going to be on Sundays. It's going to be around football, especially because people like to bet on that.
Right.
Even if you spend do you have a favorite sports team at all, Amber?
Well, I'm a college girl, so Fighting Illini, University of Illinois.
Illinois is going to lose most of the time in football. It's true.
That is true.
In football. Basketball was great.
That is true.
Until it wasn't.
Yeah.
But football, so you're like, they're going to play Ohio State. They're going to lose by 30 points. Well, maybe the point spread's 31. So you bet on Illinois, and you feel like you're winning, even if you lose by 4 touchdowns.
Oh, I see what you're doing.
That's the great part of betting.
Yeah.
Because it makes things more fair.
Yeah.
I know that probably not everyone agrees with this. So I'm excited to do that show every Saturday and Sunday. I'll be going across the country. I'm doing a birthday party in Dayton, Ohio.
That's so fun.
I'm doing all the big things.
You're a busy man. Okay, I'm going to ask you one more question. We're going to wrap this up. What is the best piece of advice that you could give dads out there?
Thank you. Because my last CD was called Good Dad, Not a Great Dad. Because I was like, I'm a great dad with Maddie, my daughter on the autism spectrum. With the twins, I'm just a good dad. I'm always outnumbered. I just feel like it's unfair. So what I would tell people is the best thing you can do for your kid, and we were kind of talking about it earlier, don't be yelling at your kids all the time. You're going to yell, though. These people that are like, don't ever yell. Like there was some show where
it's going to happen.
She was an expert. She was British, but she didn't have any kids, I heard. And she was telling people not to yell.
Wait, what?
It's like, I don't go to the priest for relationship tips either. Yeah. Okay? So what I would share with you is expect things out of your kids, set up things for your kids, challenge them. Don't let them go down the wormhole of the TikTok and the Fortnite. I know I sound like an old parent. I asked my son during the pandemic, hey, you know what? I know you can't go outside. I'm okay with you playing Fortnite a lot during the day. Why don't you give me a little information? I think that's good. Let's find out what your kids are doing. And so, what's your favorite character? That's 20 minutes I'll never get back in my life. And I'm just telling you right now, don't ever ask that question. I'm still trying to process that. So that's what I would say. And if you want to catch my stuff, if you go to scottcomedy.com, there's all kinds of clips. My latest special is all over YouTube that just came out 2 weeks ago.
Well, this has been a joy and a pleasure, and I hope to have you back again on Indy Style, filling in that co-host seat. It has been so much fun, and this is not the last conversation I know that we will have.
Exactly.
Right. Thank you so much, Scott. Appreciate it. From Wish TV's Indy Style, I'm Amber Hankins. Be sure to like and subscribe to the Indy Style podcast right now on the All Indiana Podcast Network.
Watch Indy Style weekday mornings at 10 a.m. on Wish TV. Follow Indy Style on Facebook and connect for even more at wishtv.com.
This concludes our broadcast day.
For even more great podcasts, go to allindianapodcastnetwork.com.